Okay, what's up, guys? Now we're going to get into the viewer box of this tutorial here and the intro to the basics of hit films, doing video games and editing video games and things like that. So first, something I did not talk about in the last video for the editor box. I want to get this out the way really quick. This is the play line. And with this play line here, you can select any part of the play line. And as you can see, this bar will cut straight to it. Okay, it's very, very important when we're talking about, especially in the trimmer. And another thing that I did not talk about that you can also utilize is this here. This is the content box. I normally set this at 15 minutes, but you can click and drag it just like you would the play bar. It's going to move. It's going to tell you the duration of it, and I normally will keep it around 15 minutes. But let's say I wanted to make the video 13 minutes long, I could just go 1302 or 1306. So when I get close to that bar, this area here, I know, okay, I need to really end this video because it's getting a little long. And the reason that you do that is because anything longer than about 15 minutes, your viewer will tend to stop losing time unless they're like dedicated fans. They will stop losing, they'll start losing interest, and that's just natural. And I learned that in speech class, that naturally, like 10 minutes to 15 minutes, people just stop losing interest in watching your video. So we keep it at 10 to 15 minutes, and that's why most videos you see are gonna be around that time. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the viewer box here. Really quick, if you have any questions, guys, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, at DC the Butcher. You can come and check me out on Twitch. It is Hater Nation. We will be hating, but if you do have any questions that you want to ask me during the stream, I'm definitely more than likely to help you, and more than happy enough to help you guys out here with the editing of your videos. So let's go ahead and get into this viewer box here. This is the viewer box, and this is kind of what you're looking at. And we're just going to talk about a couple of things of what they do. So on this side, you have a couple of different tools that you're going to use, but mainly you're going to use the selection tool and the text tool. You won't get into these. These are more for when you're trying to take something out or add something in just for a specific layer or things like that, but that's more for composite shots. Okay. So just the selection tool and the text tool are the ones that you're going to use over there. And when you select that selection tool, what I like about this is, let's say you added something in here and you wanted to keep it online, you can use the green arrow and the red arrow, and it won't move up or down with your mouse. So no matter if I'm doing this, it's going to keep it on that line, and the same thing with the green line. And then you have this blue box, which is the rotation box, so you can rotate it any way you kind of want. More for logo creation or things like that with those kind of effects, but you can use those as well. So we're also going to talk about this here, which is going to be the frame by frame. If you wanted to go, I really use the frame by frame if I'm trying to get that like perfect moment here. If I want to get that perfect moment of where the audio goes in, and I just really kind of want to see what I'm looking at visually wise, I use that as well with these frame by frames, and then the play button, obviously. Here you're going to have these three down here, which are really, really important. Okay, when you go into the options, you can export a frame. If you're trying to create a thumbnail, that is how you export the specific frame. So I'm like, okay, I like this frame. I can go ahead, hit export frame, and save it into a folder, and then I'll move it into the thumbnails. Generally, it brings up my thumbnails because that's where I put most of them. But if it doesn't, you can just move it as soon as you name it, move it into the right folder. There, that's how you're going to export your frame for your specific thumbnails. The next one here is called, it says full, but this is about your resolution on your playback. So this is the playback quality. This is the final cut. If this says half or this says fourth, that's just for rendering speed. Okay. But if you don't change this into final, normally if you do draft and you want to do half speed, just for your rendering speed on your computer so you can render everything in, make sure when you go back to final, you have it on full, because if you have final on half, it will transfer your video at half the resolution. You don't want to do so. Very, very important. I actually made this mistake about 2 months ago and couldn't figure out why my videos were in half quality when I was trying to transfer them. I'm like, I'm losing a lot of quality. Could be a big issue here. When you get into it, make sure it is on full. Very, very, very important that this is, when you talking about the final draft of this, make sure it's on full. Okay, and then this is just the size of the box that you're particularly looking at. Mine is at 46.8. That's where I normally like to keep it. Okay, so that is the viewer part of it and the things that you can do. You know, like I said, adding text and everything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the trimmer. And this is going to be specific when you are adding GIFs. So let's go ahead and select this GIF into the trimmer. As you can see, this is 7 seconds long. But I'm gonna go back to my viewer. Let's say I want to add in a GIF right before he really gets into some. Let's imagine we're gonna play it and see what he says. But let's imagine he says something about DBZ.
All right, yeah, that's enough for me.
Okay, so that's enough for me. I could take it right there. I'll take it back a frame, maybe 2. So we'll go ahead and go into the trimmer, and then I'm gonna trim this for however long I want it to be. We'll hit play. That is really loud, but we'll go ahead and change it. Normally I like to look at the meters. I'm not sure if the trimmer pulls up on the meters, but it doesn't. But normally I like to look at the meters when I put it in. But as you can see, this is a little DBZ GIF. It is really loud. I didn't realize it was that loud, but we'll go ahead and we'll clip it wherever we want. So let's say I don't want the beginning part. We'll play. All right, I just want it right here. So you have these tools down here, and you can put in set in point, and it's going to take out that. So then we'll go here. I apologize for the sound like that's. Let me turn my headphones down. That may not be as loud, but it's loud in my ear. All right, so let's say I want to take it, and that's all I want to keep right there, and then we'll hit the set out point. All right, so then you have these little pieces here. I can interject this right into the clip where the play line is, or I can put it as an overlaying clip. It's just going to overlap and take out 4 seconds of it. Always want to do the insert. We'll go ahead and insert it. All right, we'll change the volume here. Go back to our viewer, and we see that it's small. We'll go ahead and same thing like we did before, right click, transfer, hit the frame, okay, because we want to make sure that we get the full frame of it. And as he's going into it, and then we'll go back. So that's how you trim up clips. And that's how, when I add in any GIF, I'm not going to take the whole entire GIF. I'm going to trim it to exactly what I need and then use it. Once again, this is another time saver. The old way that I used to do this here. So we'll back up so you can hear the full thing. Imagine he said something about DBZ. Oh, that's a big Kamehameha or something. And then I put in a big Kamehameha GIF. And then we go and keep it going. Okay. The old way I used to do this is I would take this and then I would move it into another track. So I had it there, and then I would try and clip it, and then I would go here. Okay, this is kind of where I want to keep it. So we'll go ahead and clip this here on that line. I'll select, I'll move it off, and then I'll move it down into the frame, and then I'll clip it from here. I don't want all that. I just want it here. I used to do it this way. It is, like I said, it's that way takes so much time. This is about speed. We're trying to improve your speed. So we're going to go ahead and remove that because I don't need it. Remove here, and we'll just move that back. Now, if you do clip a slice, the slice is not going to matter. I'll show you this real quick too. Another quick tip: the slice is not going to matter. If you put it back and the clip is exact right time, it won't even show anything. As you can see here, if you look at the video didn't show any clip because it literally just put it back. And a lot of times I'll use that for a montage, but that's for a later video. So once again, you get to see it. The GIF is in there. we have the right time, we have the right sound on what we want,
You sound
and
very
boom, it's
secure.
right in there. There. I normally have GIFs as hard. I don't transition them just because it doesn't look natural, because it is a GIF and it's a different part of that video. So that is the trimmer portion of it, and then we'll talk about the export here. Oh, real quick too, you can save this as well. I apologize. So what I will do, once I trim this, I will export this. I'll add to export. I'll export the media, and then I'll take it and put it back in my GIFs. I will remove that. We'll just go ahead and show you. I'll come back, and once it's done, we'll go ahead and add to export. Then we'll hit start exporting. This is the export version of it. So let's say I do want to export this clip. Okay. Always, always, always in my presets, I always go with 2160, 2160p. I'm going to export it at higher quality than the video is actually coming out. But the reason that is when you put it into YouTube, you lose quality into YouTube. It sucks, but it is what it is. Okay. Once you lose that quality in YouTube, where you already are rendering it at 2160, P is going to take it down to 1080p, and then you can get the good quality. So always render it at a higher rate. They used to have where before I had to do it into a preset, I would add, or not the preset, the, what is it called? It's not a preset. It's the ones you create. I can't even remember what it's called. I apologize. Either way, you don't need to create them anymore. I had a different set of stuff that these are the default. I had a different set of the ones that I created. Maybe if you go into preset, okay, user presets. Okay, and you can create your own user preset, but here with the 2160, you don't need to do that. So we'll go ahead and go back to Q. We'll start editing, and when it's done, I will go back into the video and show you exactly how I would get this, the trimmed GIF, because I'm gonna use that trimmed GIF, that specific time of the 3 or 4 seconds that I used every single time. So we'll go ahead and start export, and then we'll be back after that's done. Okay, now that it's finished, we'll go ahead and click, double click the line there. It'll bring it up exactly where it is. It put it, sometimes, like I said, it puts it in random spots. I wish it was one folder that I could always consistently put it in, but sometimes it will go in random spots depending on where it feels the necessary, the last one that you selected, which happened to be David Fids. So we like this one. I'll go ahead and move this into videos. Here, we'll go ahead and take what we just moved into videos, the 3-second clip. We'll go ahead and rename it. Okay, we're gonna rename it to DBZ, just DBZ gift, DBZ gift, or whatever it may be. I actually may call it Kamehameha, but we'll just call it DBZ gift. But you can call it whatever you want to call it. So let's say, for instance, it is Kamehameha. You call it Kamehameha, so you know exactly that it's Kamehameha every single time. We're just gonna call it DBZ gift 3 because I think I have a couple in there. And then we'll go ahead and move this into GIF. Okay. So once we do that, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to go into remove this because this is what we used. Yes, we want to remove it. Then we're going to import media. We'll go into our GIFs, and then we will rip the 3-second one that I just named, open it back up, and then we will drag it straight into GIF. So I know I never have to trim that again. Very, like I said, very, very important. When you start getting the first one, those are the ones that you're gonna remove. Obviously it changed it in the trimmer. It is no longer there, but we can go ahead and pull that right back in there, 3 seconds. And I know that every time I use it, it's going to be 3 seconds. It's gonna be the right pixels. I'm not gonna have to resize it. I can just put it in. It is all about speed. This is why I tell you the first one is generally going to take the most time because you're inputting these GIFs and you're trimming and doing all that. When you use it, you trim it, you push it up. But once you get everything trimmed to where you may want to use it, okay, great. I don't have to do this long process anymore. We can just feed it right into it and we're ready to go. So that's pretty much it for that video. We will get into the effects next.